Component locking, which is only available in Enterprise and Enterprise Plus editions of AtomSphere, is a method to make sure developers do not overwrite each other's code. If you work for a large company or enterprise with many AtomSphere users, you may have met the problem where one or more user opens and edits the same component at the same time. Each user does not understand that the other is editing the component and makes their changes independently. The result is whichever user saves the component last wins and retains his changes. Changes made by the other user are lost because they are overwritten. Turning on component locking makes sure this situation cannot happen. Each time a user opens any component on the build page, a yellow banner is displayed, showing that it is in read-only mode. Component locking in our Enterprise and Enterprise Plus editions is not turned on by default. If you would like to use component locking in your account, you must contact your Dell Boomi representative to have it enabled. To make sure you and no one else can edit the component at the same time, you must click Lock and Edit. Once you click Lock and Edit, you will see the regular Save and Close buttons. Once you close the component, it returns to Lock and Edit. If another user opens the component while you have it locked and he tries to lock and edit, one of the following will occur. If he does not have administrator role, he sees a message showing that you have the component locked. He can view the component in a read-only mode, but he cannot save changes until you have saved and closed the component, which releases the lock. If he has the administrator role and he sees a message showing that you have the component locked, receive the lock from you to modify and save the component, or he can click Cancel and view the component in read mode. An administrator can only receive the lock component from another administrator. Please keep in mind the component locking feature does not allow you to permanently lock a component. If you open a component and lock it for editing, it remains locked until you save it and close it, or until your session expires, or you lose internet connectivity. If a user leaves a component locked, an administrator can receive the lock component so others can edit it. If you exit the component without saving the component where you were editing, when you log in again and attempt to lock and edit the component, you can receive the lock from your previous session. AtomSphere will warn users if they try to save or lock an outdated revision of a component. The Component Lock Revision Options dialog is similar to the Revision History dialog by displaying all the component revisions. The opened revision is highlighted in yellow, and depending on your current situation, different options are available. For scenario A, you opened revision 1 of the component, lock it, and begin to edit it. Meanwhile, an administrator requests a lock and edits it and saves it as revision 2. When you try to save revision 1, the dialog on the slide appears. Now you have two options. One is that you can override, which means that your changes are saved as revision 3 and does not contain the changes the administrator changed in revision 2. Or you can discard changes and reload the latest, which means that any changes you made to revision 1 and did not save are lost. Revision 2 opens, allowing you to edit, and your changes to the component are revision 3. Revision 3 has the administrator's changes from revision 2 if you did not intentionally change them or delete them. Our second scenario is that you open revision 1 of a component and you do not lock it. Meanwhile, another user opens the component, locks and edits it, and saves it as revision 2. Now when you try to lock and edit the component, the dialog on the slide appears. Revision 1 is selected, so therefore you have two options. Option 1 is that you can edit the selected revision. Revision 1 remains open and does not contain the changes the other saved in revision 2. You can edit revision 1. If you edit and save the component, you see the override option. If you select the override option, your changes are saved as revision 3. Revision 3 does not contain the other user's changes from revision 2. The other option is you can discard the changes and load the latest. Any changes you made to revision 1 did not save and are lost. Revision 2 opens, containing the other user's changes. You can edit revision 2. If you edit and save the component, you can see the override option. If you select the override, your changes are saved as revision 3. Revision 3 changes the other user's changes from revision 2 if you did not intentionally change or delete them. This concludes our discussion on component locking. We will now enter our final topic, which is process deactivation.